Okay, so let us start our practice for our Shabbat Matchbox art. And the things that we need that are the most important is we need our cardboard, we need a piece of paper, and we need copper or silver. And we're going to leave that aside, but we really need a pencil with a sharp point, but not too sharp, and an eraser. And as you can see, I already did a little drawing on my practice paper. And I'm just going to make sure it's the same size before I begin. And I'm going to just tape it down. I already started that. It's actually a little bit off. But it doesn't matter because this is just a practice. So it should be taped so you can take your pencil and you're now going to go over it. Remember to decide if you want the copper side to show, which I might, no, I'm going to do the silver. You flip it around. So I want the silver side to show, so I'm going to work on the copper. And there we go. So I'm basically taking my pencil and I'm tracing over my design with pressure. You want to press hard, but not too hard that you're going to poke a hole, but you really want to push down. And try and follow what you did the best, but you don't have to. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can add or change as you go along. And you can tell you're going to get a little bit of resistance because it is metal. You're not just drawing on paper now. Oh, and look what happened. I broke my pencil. So we're going to get another pencil and we're going to continue on. But I wanted to take a look and see what's happening here. You can see and you can feel what's happening. And if you turn it over to the side that you want, you'll see that you feel how hard it is, which is what you want. Okay, now I'm going to continue on. You also can tell how hard you're pushing by how dark your pencil is. If I'm just going like this and it's a little bit light, you can see that there's a difference from that to that. Let's see how we did. Not bad. Not bad at all. So there's a couple things that I wanted to do. One of my favorite things that I do like to do is I can now remove that if I want and be done with that design. And I'm still working on the opposite side, but I love to add texture. And one of the things that I want you to remember is we're working with a material that is all about texture and how to create that texture, and textures how something feels. So one of the things I like to do is I like to do these dots. And it's a great way of just giving some really good texture just with a simple technique to fill in some empty space. Now I'm going to turn it over and see my design. And that's really good. And I wanted to now go over some of my areas that might need it. So I'm going to lightly take my pencil and kind of go on the inside of the texture part on the good side now. So I flipped it over from the side that I was working on. And on my good side, I'm gently just going to go around it a little bit. You don't really see the pencil, but it helps push out that part to give it that more texture. And you can see here, if I kind of go around it there on the inside, not on top, just kind of around the shape, it pushes the shape out even more. And go slow. There's no rush. You can see how that candle flame just kind of came out a little bit more there, and it gives it a little more texture there. And you don't have to do it on everything, but just some parts that you want to make a little bit more stand out. And not too hard when you're doing this, a little bit gently. And there you go. You can see that. And that's my practice. The practice is to give you a feel of what you're going to be doing. Now let's look at the good part. Okay. So the things that you will need for your good final copy is you're going to have your sheet that you're going to do your design on, okay? You will have to have your cardboard, of course, a good pencil, an eraser, And I will give you the metal, and I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to give it to you. So let's say I want to show the copper side for this one. I will go like this and then give it to you. I'm going to do that so it'll have that little bend in it so you know which side is which. And there you go. So you will get your metal piece and it will look something like this. So you'll tell me whether you want copper or silver to show, and I will bend it that right way. So you'll have that ready. Okay? So I want to start my design. So I want to look at it like this. This is going to be one side. This is going to be the other side. I've already just cut out my piece here so I can start to show you. And it's going to be taped, or you can work carefully like that, or you can tape it on like this too. When you get your piece, you'll just tape it underneath of your paper, but I had mine cut out from before. And I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do this. And I want to make sure that it's my opposite side because I want the copper to be standing out. And here we go. If you're not sure, if you did a part, you can see it's already darker. The pencil mark is already darker and pushed out, and you can look and check to see how it's going. And I think I'm done this side now. And you can see when I turn it over, and I can always reshape it with the Matchbox, and I can help you do that. And you can see how now my design has come out. So now I just want to take my pencil and just kind of push it out a little bit. Some of these just gently. And go slow and see how that really raises it. It really embosses it. It pushes that out. Now I'm going to just stop there. I can work on that afterwards. Now for my other side, let's say I don't want to do this and I just want to do something really abstract without having to do my paperwork. I can say maybe I want to do something different on the other side or try a different pattern. And something that's really cool is this stained glass look. That's really helpful for people when they're not sure what to do. And I can start with a design in the middle, and I'm going to freehand it, which you can do. And I love doing my candlesticks here. And now I want to do this freehand design where I basically just make lines. Oops, I kind of went down there, but that's okay. And I'm making these almost like a stained glass look. And I can do it around. I'll create a little box around my candlesticks. And this is a very abstract design. Okay, I might do a few more in here. Okay, I think that's good. And here we have it. I can still go around in here and kind of pull that out there. And this is freehand. So one way you can do borders around, you can do texture like I did over here. You can do candlesticks. You could do challah as your center, but really try and put something that's a focal point, something that's right in the center, a symbol of Shabbat, candlesticks, a wine glass, a Magen David, or a challah, or anything you like as your centerpiece, and then work around it, okay? You can do it this way on paper. You can also do it freehand, and you can also do something, I'm just going to do something freehand here, just for design for the center. Oh, I did the wrong side, but you know what? That's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along it on the opposite side, and I'm going to push it out this way. And you'll see that it will also come back through. So there really are no wrong ways to do this. And there it is. I pushed it back through. So that's it for now. I will show you my next part of coloring it in. I have here a selection of markers for you. But when I choose my markers, I want to choose a color theme. So I've chosen, I have some metallics and I have some Sharpies, and they're all permanent. You don't need to use this anymore. Remember, this is only to work on for your design. However, you can still work on it so you don't get your desk dirty. That's okay too. Or you can just work on your paper, whatever you want. So now I'm going to think about my colors, and I'm going to kind of start with, I don't know, I start with this purple that I like so much, this metallic purple. Oh, and one thing, I have a copper metallic marker. The copper metallic marker won't show on the copper, but it will show on the silver. Just like the silver metallic will not show on the silver, but it'll show on the copper. So I'm going to start, and I've chosen some greens, blues, and purples to start my work. I'm going to do a little test here to make sure it's coming out nicely. And I'm going to start my filling in color. And I want you to think of this as almost painting, but you're trying to stay outside that silver or copper line that you push through. And you can see how nicely it kind of pops out when you're filling in carefully, because you went around it that second time when you flipped it over and you kind of pushed it out again. So you can see that. You want to see that line. And that is to start. And you don't have to fill in every single area. I decided I may want to keep that like that. But I'm also going to find I have this lovely color here. And I'm going to add that here. And you can start to see how the colors, when you use the paint colors, it really does bring it out. I'm actually going to go around here just carefully, just to outline that outside without going over the copper piece that's sticking through. Oh, and be careful not to touch it while it's drying, because I think I just may have kind of made a little bit of an extra mark. And you want to be careful just to go carefully so you don't smudge it, and you let it dry, and you try and keep that copper line visible, that outline that you push through that embossing. And there's that. And then for those of you who are doing something freehand like this, by all means, and I could still add more color to this. I just want to give you guys a heads up. Let it dry before. You don't want to smudge it all over the place. And think about your colors. You don't need to use every color that we have. You want to use colors that will work together, that'll look nice. Remember, silver markers don't work on silver metal, and copper markers don't work on copper metal. And have fun. Be careful, go slow, and enjoy the process. Can't wait to see what they look like.